What is up, tribe? Welcome to the Making of Her. Today, and I'm not even going to talk about anything else because I'm so excited to introduce my friend here. Today, I am joined by someone who truly embodies what it means to build success with intention, with discipline, and soul. Lead with soul, right? Kelly Roach is a powerhouse entrepreneur. She's a business strategist and the founder of multiple 8-figure companies. She's helped thousands of women. So if you're listening, you know where to find her. Keep listening. She's helped thousands of women step into leadership, scale their businesses, and create lives that are rooted in purpose, not just productivity. She has a brand new book coming out at the end of April, and I'm so stoked she is able to join us so we can talk about her newest book, The Miracle Hour. Welcome, Kelly. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We are going to jump right in and tell us what was happening in your life or your business that led you to actually create The Miracle Hour.
Yeah. So the Miracle Hour is not new. And actually, it stems back to probably a moment in my life that a lot of you can relate to. When I graduated from college, I got my first entry-level job in the corporate world. And I was so determined to create financial freedom. I was so determined to have success. And, I was really like the first person in and the last person out every single day. And I hustled my way through. And I ended up getting promoted 7 times in 8 years. So I became the youngest senior vice president in the company. My peers were my parents' age. I learned all of these incredible skills: sales, marketing, leadership, team building, recruiting, hiring. And I loved my work so much. But 2 things happened. Number 1, I looked around me, I looked at the people above me, and I looked at their lives. They were burnout. They were traveling constantly. They were never seeing their families. They were on the clock, round the clock. And I looked at that and I said, what are we doing all of this for? And I just really had that moment where I was like, I don't want my life to look like that. Mm-hmm. I had just met my husband. We just got married. We wanted to be able to have freedom. We wanted to be able to retire him so that we didn't have to put my daughter in daycare. We had this vision for our life, right? And so, I was going to simultaneously have my first daughter and my only daughter. I was working this executive job, 60 hours a week. And I really wanted to figure out how I can use the skills that I had built to help impact lives and have a meaningful impact in the world, not just produce millions of dollars for a big corporation, but I wanted to get my hands in the dirt with real people. I wanted to do something that I felt was going to impact families and generations. And so I started my own business, but I didn't have the luxury of walking away and just quitting that job. I had just spent over a decade of my life really sacrificing everything to create financial freedom. And here my husband and I are trying to figure out how we're going to make this life and all of those things. So I started taking a lunch break for the first time in my entire life. Never taken a lunch break before. And I would go out to my little Jeep Liberty on my lunch break and I created this index card. And I had all those feelings that we all have every time we go to start something new. I was totally overwhelmed. I had imposter syndrome. I had comparisonitis. I had fear. I had overwhelm. I'm like, is this ever going to work? Is this ridiculous that I'm thinking I'm going to start a legitimate business in an hour a day? But faithfully, every single day, I would go out to my car and on my lunch break, I would message people and I would send audio or videos or some type of communication to prospects. I would reach out and nurture relationships that I was building. I would invite people to book a call. And slowly but surely, what I found was my business started growing and growing and growing. And I was in my first coaching program. And in the first year, I was looking at everyone ahead of me and I was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to do this. This is impossible. They're working 60 hours a week. They're doing all these amazing things. And I was like, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep putting one foot in front of the other. I'm going to find a way, right? And then by the second year of my coaching program, now my business is starting to explode. I'm starting to really take off. And I hear the same people coming on the coaching calls, asking the same questions, stuck on the same problems, still in the same place that they were the year before. And I had this epiphany, this life-changing epiphany. And what I realized for the first time in my life was that our success is not defined. It is not hinging on how many hours we work. It's not hinging on the hustle. It's not hinging on, can we be the people that like lay ourselves on the ground and burn ourselves out and burn the candle at both ends? What I realized is that the power of intention and the clarity of following a system was everything. And that business became a 7-figure business, even while I still had my executive job. And then in 18 months, when I became a full-time entrepreneur, I went from 7 to 8 figures. And the lesson in all of this is that we have been taught a story for so long that being an obedient, hard worker is good. And that is how we place value on our contribution. We work hard, we produce, we show up. And so many entrepreneurs have sacrificed their health, their family life, their marriage, their sanity. The mental health crisis in entrepreneurship is through the roof. And so I wrote this book because I wanted entrepreneurs to know that there is a different operating model available. And that operating model goes back to like the oldest, most basic, most simple principles you could ever imagine of how humans relate to one another and how they make decisions, which is based on relationships. And so I wrote the Miracle Hour to give every entrepreneur everywhere the permission slip to take back their life, to take back their sanity, to refocus on their health, to re-engage in their marriages, to give their children the time and attention that they deserve, and know that they don't have to give up on their 7 or 8 figure dream in order to do that. The Miracle Hour is literally the operating playbook for an hour a day sales system. And it's been around for years. I've been teaching to my clients. I've been watching people have these $1 million breakthroughs, but it's kind of having its moment right now. One, because we're in the launch, but 2, because with everything happening with AI, a lot of people are doing the same playbook that they've done over and over again, chasing the newest thing, chasing, what they think is going to be the shortcut. And they're working harder, longer hours than ever, not seeing any results. So I know that
nothing
was a
changes
very
if
long...
nothing changes. Yes. I love it. Love it.
Yes. Yes.
We want people to read your book. I've listened to it. It's most definitely life-changing. Let's go into an overview as to let's give everybody a teaser, a taste of what exactly is the Miracle Hour. How is it different from the 60 million productivity routines that are out there? Not that any of them are wrong, but why is this the bomb?
The Miracle Hour is the first book ever that explains the difference strategically in business building between taking massive action and activation. No one understands the difference. There's never been a book written on it. And why that's important to understand is that 8 hours of massive action are equivalent to 1 hour of activation. There's no magic tricks or secret formulas inside the Miracle Hour. It is simply common sense, basic fundamentals that work. The Miracle Hour teaches people how to build a pipeline of relationships that they are going to nurture and ultimately multiply and duplicate into sales, breakthroughs, opportunities. And really, it's a person that's on the other side of every single dream. So our Miracle Hour has a core list that it operates on. We call that the $100 billion relationship Rolodex, Dream 1000. And that is simply your future. And most entrepreneurs operate, or business owners or practitioners operate day to day. Literally, they're waking up in the morning and they're like, what do I need to do today? What are we going to do to move this business forward today? How are we figuring out how we're paying rent at the end of the month? How am I going to pay my staff? What are we going to do to get by? And that is not a way to live. That is not a way to live. So what the Miracle Hour does is it teaches you how to organize your relationship Rolodex into all of these unique categories based on how you're going to nurture and manage that relationship. So that's going to include your current clients, your past clients, your leads, your collaboration partners, your referral partners, people in your network that you can open up doors and open up opportunities with. And so it has 2 kind of big rocks in it. It has best buyers, which are all of your dream clients that you want to work with, current, past, and prospective. And then it has dream makers. And dream makers are people that can open $1 million doors for you. They're collaboration partners, referral partners, centers of influence, people that have communities adjacent to yours. And what's very, very unique about the Miracle Hour system and why people are having so much success with it is, number one, it's platform agnostic, it's industry agnostic, and it's business type agnostic. It's not tied to anything other than how do humans make buying decisions. Okay. So if you're a person that wants to sell things or wants to move people, whether you want them to invest. I have a client right now that just lined up 13 investors for a new project she's doing using the Miracle Hour in a matter of 2 weeks. Okay. I have another client that's using this right now to manage a pipeline for business acquisitions. I have another client that just used the Miracle Hour to get a corporate licensing deal, 6-figure corporate licensing deal. So imagine anything you could ever want to do. Maybe you want to get your next 1,000 patients. Okay. It does not matter what your vision is. It's possible when you're organized and you manage relationships. And so many people work very long, very hard hours in pursuit of growing their business, and they're taking massive action, but they do not have a plan for activation. And activation is when you actually get people to move. It's when you get them to make a decision, right? That allows you to champion them to their highest potential, whether it's a patient that is going to sign up to work with you and get to the root cause of what's been preventing them from living the highest quality of life and vitality that they deserve. It does not matter what the situation or scenario is, but it is relationship management. It's the most valuable list that you could ever have in your business because it is your past and it is your future. And what's happened with internet marketing is that people have been chasing top of funnel activities with visibility for 20 years now. And now with AI bots being over 50% of internet activity and AI now coming into the world of content, what's happening is you were only getting 2% visibility before. Imagine what that's going to be a year from now. So if you're a practice manager, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're a philanthropist, you are an investor that needs humans on board to open their wallets for what you do, you have to be thinking differently about how you are visible to the right people and how you're getting them to make a buying decision, because social media is going to continue to have diminishing returns because the whole dynamic of social media is changing before our eyes right now. And I say this as someone that I have made tens of millions of dollars on social media. Like, I love social media. I'm not the person out there like social media is the villain. I'm here to say I'm a business growth strategist. My job is to give people guidance and advice on what the simplest and most efficient, effective path is going to be to get to their goal while being able to prioritize the things that actually matter in their life, and relationships are it. The Miracle Hour does one more thing that I want to mention really quick, because you said, what makes it different? Why is this so different? It is the only system that you can do in 1 hour a day that allows you to both generate leads, nurture your existing ones, and convert sales. And this is the biggest reason why businesses, A, fail because of cash flow, and B, have feast or famine, which burns the business owner out and makes them lose their mind. Because what happens is you work really, really, really hard to go get a bunch of new clients, patients, whatever the case, and then you have to revert back to servicing them. And what happens is there's this constant ping pong in the business. And so there's no revenue growth continuity. It's start, stop, start, stop. And so what the Miracle Hour does is it's 1 hour a day that maintains this balance in the business of making sure your funnel is always full, your relationships are staying engaged and moving forward, and every single day, people are saying yes and making buying decisions. And that is the most important, unique component of the Miracle Hour, because there's no other system that can do that in 1 hour a day.
For the high achieving woman, the person that you were all those years ago, or the doctors that I work with, for example, someone that feels like I don't have time. I see patients through lunch, or I'm constantly like you were in your corporate job. How do you shift that belief?
Yeah, this is the thing. And I know this is the hardest part of my job, is that I always have to share the brutal truth that no one wants to hear. If you do not have an hour a day to make your dreams come true, you're not focused on the right things. You can be working really, really hard, running in place on a treadmill. And that is what most business owners are doing. And they say, I'm too busy. Where am I going to find an hour? You're not going to find an hour. You're going to create an hour by eliminating things that don't produce value. There's only 2 core objectives in any business that makes it function. And that is serving existing patients and customers, and getting new ones. And so the vast majority of people that are running a practice or running a business are spending wildly over indexed amounts of time on things that are not getting a new patient or serving an existing one. And that includes operational things, that includes paperwork, that includes attempts at growth that are ineffective, that includes all sorts of things. And we have to find better ways to outsource, to delegate, to leverage the resources that we have, even to bring in the right help. People say, oh, I can't afford to hire help. No, you can't afford to hire help because you're not doing revenue production. And because you're not doing revenue production, you're not supporting the business and giving the business what it needs to grow. And that is our top job. Our top job is to focus on the right things in our businesses that are going to allow the business to grow and to thrive and to get the sunlight and the rain and the fresh air that it needs so that your practice, your business, whatever it is, can actually grow and thrive. And that can't happen if we're not staffing appropriately. So we have the owner of the business doing things that an entry-level admin should be doing and using the excuse, I can't afford it, because they're not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. And so, of course, they can't afford it, right? And I talk about this in the Miracle Hour audiobook, which everyone gets access to. The second that they buy the book, they get access to the audiobook because I want people implementing this now. I want people taking back their lives now. I feel like people are on the brink. They're so exhausted. They need like a life raft. And that's why I have this sense of urgency of like getting this out immediately.
I resonate so much with where you said so many people are on the brink. They're like on a life raft because most women, a lot of women who look successful on paper are actually at the very edge of burnout, right? They're literally drowning in all of this. They're exhausted. How can implementing the Miracle Hour help them reverse that burnout?
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. If you had a new patient coming in, signing up by 9 a.m. every morning, how would that change your life? Like we can stop there, and this is the thing. We've been doing the Miracle Hour in my company for years. We used to do it at 9 a.m. together as a team every day. Now we do it at 8 a.m. together. And usually by about 8:15, we have our first sale in for the day. As a business owner, as a CEO, as a practice manager, as an investor, as a philanthropist, if you're getting deals done by 9 in the morning, what that does is mentally, physically, creatively, and energetically, your vibration and your capacity exponentially grows for everything else. When we're exhausted, when we're burnt out, when we're stressed out, we're functioning at such a low level that our 60 hours of work really is maybe only equivalent to 10 or 15. So the change in the dynamic of how you feel leading, how you feel running your business changes everything. And it doesn't just change how you feel, it changes the effectiveness and the impact of all the things that are happening inside of the business.
For someone that's listening in, that's nodding along as I am with you, but they're still brand new to this concept. This is probably the first time they're hearing about what on earth is the Miracle Hour. What is the easiest, the fastest way for them to start to implement this?
Yeah. I mean, the fastest way is to make a list and pull the list of your current and past customers and to begin to reconnect with them to see what additional needs they have that have been unmet by you. That is something that everyone who watches this podcast or listens to this podcast can do immediately. Like literally while you're listening, you could be doing that right now. And what most people find is that because they weren't offering, they weren't getting. And so what happens is when you don't stay in touch with your current and past customers, they buy from other people. Because think about it, as a consumer, you want to work with people that want to work with you, right? You want to work with people that value your business. You want to work with people that make you offers. You want to work with people that stay in touch with you. And in the corporate world, this is standard practice. When I worked for a Fortune 500 firm, by 11 a.m. every Monday morning, we had contacted every single active customer and we had made offers for additional needs to expand market share. And by the end of the day, by about let's say by about midday on Tuesday, we had contacted our inactive customers to make offers. And these are some of the basic foundational principles that live in the billion-dollar world that never made it over to small business that I am on a mission to actually help translate, because these are the basic fundamentals of what to make a business grow. It's 7 times more expensive and time consuming to get a new customer than it is to just make an offer and do a deal with an existing one. So everyone watching and listening to this right now can begin to reach out to your current patients and your past patients to see how you can meet and serve unmet needs, to make an invitation to buy, and or to make an invitation to make an introduction to someone they know that's looking for a new service provider. That is how simple and easy the Miracle Hour is. Now, obviously in the book, we get like nitty gritty and we give you like, here's the activities to do. This is how you set it up. Like, this is the order, all of that. And we give you that whole protocol. But just for simplicity's sake, to like understand how fast the process works, most things that you go to implement in business take tens of thousands of dollars and many weeks and months of testing to get them effective. The Miracle Hour, by the time you're done the audiobook, you will have made thousands of dollars if you actually implement what I'm telling you to do. Because what it is the Miracle Hour teaches you how to capitalize on opportunity you have been ignoring. It's not about going out and figuring out this brand new thing to do. It's not about this new trend or hack that by the time you learn it, it's already over. It's not about learning a new platform. It's not about any of that. It is about human connection.
Love it.
Exactly.
Love it. What is one thing about success or productivity that you believe more women need to hear, to believe, to understand?
Well, I always say that 8-figure CEOs obsess over the basic fundamentals that 6-figure CEOs think that they're too advanced for. And the Miracle Hour is a perfect example of that. Everyone wants to go out and work on these new complex technology tools. Everyone wants to be an AI expert. Everyone wants to figure out what's going to give their firm or portal or whatever this competitive advantage. And what people that are actually like making bank right now in the world of business understand is the genius is actually in the simplicity of removing all the barriers between you and the people that you want to serve and connecting with them. And when you get that, when that light bulb clicks for you and you start changing your business model to be obsessed with your customer and to focus on the power of duplicating and multiplying relationships, business becomes really easy and it becomes really fun. And I think that a lot of people over the last, 15 years with internet marketing and all the things that we're just being bombarded all day, every day with all the stimulus. And I think what's happening is we've lost the basic fundamentals that scale companies in pursuit of shortcuts that will only work when the fundamentals are there. And so we have people working on like tier 8, level 8 things that don't have the center of the bullseye taken care of. And because of that, it doesn't matter what they do out here, they're never going to see the results.
Yeah. Wow. Where can our audience connect with you and actually learn more and dive deeper into the Miracle Hour? Let's get this into more hands.
Yes, absolutely. Well, definitely connect with me on Instagram, Kelly Roach Official, and we will put the link to the audio and video or in
the show notes, all
below.
Of your social media links.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, what we did something a little bit different, which is that we are giving instant access to the audiobook the moment that you order the book. So you don't have to wait. You don't have to get through the whole book. You can pop that bad boy in while you're walking the dog, doing a workout, doing something with your kids, whatever, because I want you all to see that there is a level of success accessible and waiting for you that you can access right now. So I hope every person listening will go click the link down below, grab your copy of the book, and start on the audiobook right away.
Well, you heard the lady. All links are going to be in our show notes. Make sure you order the book. I can sit here and tell you it is well worth every single minute of your life that you spend listening or reading to the book. I'm a huge fan. Well, thank you, Kelly, so much. Such a pleasure connecting with you, chatting with you, and thank you for this gift you're bringing to every entrepreneur, every business owner. Much needed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I can't wait to see what you all do to implement the Miracle Hour and soar.
Absolutely. So don't forget to connect with Kelly on Instagram, download the book, purchase the book, share it, and share this episode. We will see you next time.